All right, welcome back to another episode of Bully Ball. Seems like we were having some technical difficulties. So sorry about that to begin this video, but we're back. It's been a while since we've recorded a video. As you can tell, we're a little bit rusty. um, Glad to be back though. This little pregame primer before this New Orleans Saints matchup should be a good game. Pretty interesting. We have our parents are actually at the game right now doing some tailgating, so we might see from them in a little bit. But before we get into this, let's do our little intro and go on from there.
Tony Montana, Tony Montana, Tony Montana, check up on my ear. Tony Montana, Tony Montana, Tony Montana, I'm about to cut the...
So yeah, we have a interesting matchup here against the New Orleans Saints. I think the last time we played them was in 2019, right? That was the George Kittle crazy
Yeah, I think
interception.
so.
Yeah. So first time playing them again in a few years. Should be a good game. I know our dad wanted us to have him. He wanted to talk a little bit. We'll send him the link here in a second. But yeah, this game should be a good game. The Saints, they still have some decent weapons in Chris Olave. Alvin Kamara on offense is pretty good. You have Demario Davis on defense, Marshawn Lattimore. Those guys are always good.
He's not playing.
Who?
Marshawn Lattimore, he's still out.
Oh, so that's a big key for the 49ers, Look for Debo and Ayuk to take advantage of that for sure. So that's definitely going to help the Niners a lot this game. What are your well, first off, let me ask you this. How's Germany been? This is the first podcast for you being in Germany. How's that transition been?
Yeah, how's my audio before I talk?
It's a little echoey. You can tell you're not using what you usually do, but it's not terrible.
Yeah, I'm using my camera's audio because
Gotcha.
I can't use my headphones for some reason. But it's been a journey to get over here. Moving everything, and you went through it when you moved to Spain, but bringing the dog was hard. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was thinking about it, and we went within the past 6 months, we went from our house to an apartment to a hotel to a different hotel to another hotel, and now we're finally in the place we're gonna live. So it's been a little bit of a journey, but we're finally here in Germany, and my first two 49er games were at 2 a.m. because they were both prime time. So I got that kick like right the first 2 weeks. It was terrible.
Welcome to my life for the past 3 years, man. This shit's rough, especially when you have to go to work the next day, getting up at 2, 3 in the morning. Oh my God, it's terrible. That's why
So this one is
and we don't
good.
get many of the I think it would be a 10 o'clock start California time. We don't get many of those a year. We might get like 2 to 3 a year, but most of them are starting at like the 1 o'clock, 1:30 kickoffs. So that's like 10:30 our time in Europe. So it's rough, but we make it happen. We're definitely loyal. We always be watching, so it should be it's good. What are some of your takeaways from these past couple of weeks? We haven't really heard your thoughts since you've been traveling, getting overseas and everything, but what have been your takeaways from these past couple of games, against the Chargers and last week against the who did we play last week? I'm blanking.
The Cardinals.
Cardinals, yeah, in Mexico. Yep.
Yeah, so my main takeaways, I would say, is Jimmy G's playing awesome the past couple weeks. I know against the Chargers, he didn't have any touchdowns or anything, but the dude's playing great. Like, he's making the reads, he's getting through his progressions, he's stepping up and moving in the pocket well, which he hasn't done. And that's been one of our biggest gripes with him the past couple years. He's not making the bonehead mistakes. Knock on wood. Hope it doesn't happen. But he's getting through his reads really well. O line's holding up great against some pretty good D lines as well. Um, and then on defense, the thing that stood out is they're starting very slow in games, and teams are taking advantage of that. But then they clamp up, in the second half, and I hope that doesn't come to bite them at some point. You can't let a team get ahead too much and then clamp up because you know what I mean. So,
Like
I'd
teams
like
like
to,
a Kansas City, Buffalo
yeah,
Bills, Eagles, like those high-powered teams because they're not going to stop. They're going to keep going
yeah.
the whole time. Sorry to
So I'd
interrupt you,
like to
but
see the defense, put together a full game, but it has been impressive what they're doing in the back halves of the game.
I agree. Um, yeah, like you said, Jimmy Garoppolo, you know, I think I was listening to Matt Mayoko's podcast because, in my opinion, he's probably like the highest media person in the ranks for 49ers media, at least the most like credentialed and official news. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah.
he had an interview with John Lynch, and John Lynch attributed a lot of Jimmy G's off-schedule plays to Brian Greasy, saying that
Oh,
they've
really?
just gotten a lot of chemistry together and that the development from that has come from Greasy, which is interesting because, I mean, ever since McCaffrey's been there, and obviously I think having Christian McCaffrey helps out a lot, just having his presence on the field, as a defense, knowing you have to cover damn near a wide receiver um, out of the backfield is huge. But you look against the Rams game, he had that off-schedule throw to McCaffrey for the touchdown. Um, Chargers game, he had that throw to Ray McLeod down the sideline. And then this past game, the off-schedule throw to George Kittle. And usually he would look to just maybe run, get a few yards, if not take a sack maybe. So it's impressive to see, and it's good knowing that he's willing to make those off-schedule plays because that was our biggest gripe with him, was like if the first, second read's not there, it's over. He's taking a sack or something's happening, throwing a pick, fumble, whatever. But now he's really stepping up and kind of looking all the way through, making those off-schedule plays when he has to, and it's really promising. I think it's going to take the Niners a long way if he can continue to do that while also making the right decision, not forcing something really stupid. Just make the right decision and go from there.
Yeah, I agree. He's playing well, and it's pretty interesting what's going on with the 49ers community right now. We've been off a couple weeks. We have a small channel, but everyone just seems to be wanting to fight with each other. Like all these other
Mhm.
49er content creators, I think they just want all of the audience, so they'll just fight with everybody for no reason. It's kind of annoying if you ask me, but
Yeah, you even have like content creators going after like their fans, like even just Niner fans, like there's this content creator, I'm not going to say the name obviously, but he's going after these fans saying, "Oh, these people, this fan base is loyal to a team and grown men who don't even know their names." But it's like, so are you. You're creating content for them. You're loyal. Like, I don't get why they're just trying to create a divide and trying to just make each other look bad. We're all one big team, Niner Nation. You know what I mean? Like, why? If anything, start shitting on other fan bases. Don't be shitting on ours. Like,
yeah,
come on, make
it's
it
real
make sense. You know
crazy.
what I mean?
I don't get it, but
Yeah.
everyone wants to be the superstar, but the superstar is the team and the players on the team. But everyone trying to do their own thing, become famous, whatever. Can't blame them, but I have this video. 1 second.
You know,
My
go ahead.
oh, my studio should be put together by Wednesday, and I got another monitor, so I'm gonna be able to pull up two screens. We got the all 22 film now.
Yeah.
We're gonna get this all straightened out and good to
Yeah.
go soon.
Getting strong for the home stretch here, just like the 49ers are going to be.
Yeah,
What I was gonna say, it could be a lot worse. We could be like the Broncos right now, who traded for Russell Wilson, gave him like a crazy 6-year contract, and the dude's playing terrible. I just saw a video on Twitter of a defensive, I think it was a D lineman, like cussing him out on the sidelines in front of all the players and coaches. So could be worse,
yeah,
even though we
it could
lost to
be
them, but
terrible.
still.
All right, 1 second. I've got a Saints fan. You know him. Dom wants to come on, say a few words about the Saints for us. So I'm
Okay.
sending him the link. But here we go. So this is pregame. You see Jimmy doing the Dak Prescott over here. And then you see right here, you got Trey Lance throwing the football on the field a little bit.
Yep. Love to see it. Love to see it. It still hurts me anytime I see Justin Fields out there. Hurts just to see because like he's developed. That's what you were expecting out of Trey Lance this year from a development standpoint. He started off the season kind of rough, but as each game went, he got better and better. The team started to really figure out his strengths and started using him in his strengths. And
Yeah,
it's just hard because that's what we were expecting out of Trey Lance. We were expecting the beginning of the season to be a little rough, and then towards the end, just to really pick it up and just show some development, some promise. But we were robbed of that, unfortunately. So it's definitely hurtful, but it is what it is. We'll see him next year. But if, let's say, what do you think it'll take from Jimmy Garoppolo and the 49ers this year for us to keep him? Or do you think that's out of the books all the way 100%? He's gone.
I think prior to the season, we were all saying that, like, hey, no matter what, it don't matter if you win a Super Bowl. And the first thing to say is, he could possibly leave himself, even if the 49ers want to bring him back, which is very, very possible. But, with the way the league is now, I could see the 49ers keeping him and him staying and them moving on from Trey Lance because you see these quarterbacks, teams don't care now. Like you see the Jets, they bench Zach Wilson, and look, Mike White's going off today. Like
Yeah.
teams will move on fast now, um, and it is what it is. So I don't know. It could happen, but it's going to be an interesting offseason once again. I will say that.
Yeah. So you kind of beat around the bush on that one. You didn't really answer the question. What do you think it takes from the Niners this year to bring him back?
Oh, that's what I'm saying is I don't know. Like they could be so impressed right now that they're like he's coming back. Or it could be like we got to win the Super Bowl for him to come back. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What if he goes into the NFC Championship game, right? And then he does like that Josh Allen Mahomes battle and loses. Do you let him walk? You know what I mean? Like what what is to say that one winning something or something like that is the deciding factor? It's
So if you were John Lynch, what would that line be?
you see it's tough. I would need to evaluate the whole season. So it doesn't matter where we make it in the season, but I need all of that tape and film, games to be played, and then I will evaluate. But at the same time, John Lynch don't really have that much time because at that moment, the season's over. A different team could be trying to get Jimmy Garoppolo if you wanted to keep him. So it's a tough line to like balance on that. And
Yeah.
I did see, I haven't been able to watch it yet, but it was JT O'Sullivan dropped a video on Jimmy, and I saw him say like this is the reason they still will move on from him. I didn't get to watch it yet, but that would be one of the things I would be evaluating.
I think it was, if I remember correctly, it was mainly there was like a deep ball down one of the sidelines to Ayuk, I believe. Um, and instead of Jimmy like throwing it, because he definitely could have thrown it. He probably saw him too. But instead of throwing it to Ayuk, he did the check down to McCaffrey. I mean, it still got the first down to McCaffrey, but he didn't throw it deep. So I think that's what
Gotcha.
he was saying. He's still like afraid to expand the field.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
All right. Let me give us your 49er inactives today for the day, and then we'll bring on our guest. We got Eric Armstead. He was back at practice. That's good news. Ty Davis Price, man. Tyler Croft, Nick Zakel, and Curtis Robinson. So nothing too crazy today. All right, we got on our friend Dominique Daughtry. He's a Saints fan, and he's here to tell us a little bit about this Saints team. That's kind of, they're kind of not looking too good this year. What's going on with the Saints?
I think the main issue with the Saints right now is the quarterback and the coach. Andy Dalton is getting it done like here and there. Last week, I think you did pretty good, but it's just like ever since, I don't know. I think it's the injuries at receiver too, because Michael Thomas has been out, and I really think we should have traded him before the season because he hasn't been any help, and we really needed him this season because, like I said, he was gone all last year. We gave him that, and he still hasn't back healthy. And then we traded for Jarvis Landry. He's been on and off. So our best receiver right now is Chris Olave, which it was a good trade that we got him. But, I mean, they can't get it done by themselves. And then, I don't know, Kamara's been good, on and off, mostly good. But the games he has that we've lost, it's just been weird. Like the games that we lose are like very close. Marshawn Lattimore has been out. We finally got Bradley Roby back. Cameron Jordan's playing today. So that's going to help. So, I mean, just with all the injuries, every week we have about 8 players hurt. 3 or 4 players are out. There's always like questionable till game time. So I think that's very like detrimental to the team. Especially like you like going through practice and everything, and you think they're going to play, and then they don't play last minute. So that kind of hurts the squad. But I just don't know. I feel
What
like go ahead.
So with Kamara, right? He's at a couple games where he goes crazy, and then a couple it feels like they don't use him.
Yeah.
Would you say it's the O line? Is the O line weak this year, or is it just they're not using the pieces correctly on the team?
I think Dennis Allen is just like still new and like learning the offense. He's still too used to the defense. I think they just need to use the guys that they have more, and just feed them. Just like with the Cowboys, how they just need to feed Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard. Just feed them boys, and they're gonna produce for you. Chris Olave, you're gonna feed him. He's gonna catch 15, 20 balls a game and get you at least 150, 200 yards, just like Tyreek Hill. You got to feed him. He can beat you over top. He's fast, quick with his feet, good hands. Like, if that's all we have, that's what we need to use. But it just kind of shows what we need to do in the offseason to be good for next year. Obviously, we don't have a first-round pick because we traded away to the Eagles. But, I mean, hopefully with the second-round pick, we can get like a decent player, or maybe we can make a splash play. Like I said, we would have traded Michael Thomas away. That could have helped us. I know we can't really afford it right now with his contract. We kind of have to wait till the post June 1st cut. It would help the team and like the salary and everything. But it's like, damn, bro. Like, it's kind of like how Keenan Allen, you know what I mean? It's like you play one game and you're out the whole year. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, they need you.
All
So
right,
it's just frustrating.
Let's get my dad on here real quick. He's at the game. How's it going?
What's up, dog?
What up?
This fool's recording on a potato. Jesus.
Yeah, terrible. Let me mute him. Let me mute him real quick. It's not even letting me mute him.
I don't know what's going on. Question: how is Chris Olave used? I heard that he's really used in more like vertical routes, or do you guys use him kind of everywhere? Intermediate, middle, then long down the field routes, or is it just what can we expect from him since he's like the main target? besides
They like
Kamara on this offense.
they like to push it deep with him. They use more of Landry or like Harris for like the short intermediate routes. But like if they want to go downfield, they use Chris Olave.
Gotcha.
Vertical go routes, post fades, stuff like that. And that's where he's going to beat you. He can open up the middle of the field. He can open up over top. He's kind of like a Brandon Cooks, but better to me.
How do you feel about your guys' tight end? Because he seems like one of those dudes that, like, when they throw him the ball, he scores touchdowns all the time. But I feel like he
Juwan
doesn't get
Johnson?
a lot of targets.
He's good. I got him on fantasy. I should have trusted him earlier. That's what they need to do, too. They need to trust Tyreek Hill and Juwan Johnson along with Alvin Kamara and Chris Olave. Just get all them boys working at the same time. When you get Tyreek Hill in there for those quarterback option plays or like, you know what I mean? Like any of those plays where you don't know who's getting the ball and Tyreek Hill's in the game, it's always successful. The triple option plays with Tyreek Hill in the game or the reads. He can pull the ball down and just take it 50 yards every time. And then Juwan Johnson, you got him at tight end now. He can catch everything. Like he's a dog. He's turning into like a little George Kittle or somebody. Like he's a good red zone threat. He's gonna score for you. But yeah, I think they should have Tyreek Hill and Juwan Johnson going at the same time, and just have mismatches on the field.
Definitely
Get those mismatches going. What's going on with Deebo Samuel this year? Let's talk about that.
Deebo, man,
he's kind of had a weird season.
It's been, kind of Ayuk is taken over as the wide receiver one on our team.
Yep.
And then also, the running game just isn't there for Deebo. Like if he's in the backfield, they know what's happening this year. So it's like it's too predictable. And I feel like he's not getting open when he's running routes. So it's been difficult for him this year because it's like he can't really run the ball well because they know what's coming. And then receiving, Ayuk is clearly the better receiver. So it's like it's that tough line of like, how do you use him and get usage out of him? Because you need to get him the ball, but I don't know. And he's been dealing with a couple injuries as well.
Yeah, so he's been like having nagging injuries, like ankle and stuff like that. Yeah, it's kind of weird because he just got that big contract and he was trying to hold out and he wanted that trade and and now
that's the thing with the 49ers. It seems when they pay their star players, they seem to just kind of fall off the map somehow. Not all the way, but like definitely not as relevant as they were. But trying to get that payday. I mean, it makes sense. You're going to ball out if you're up for money. Even if you have a regular job or in the NFL, you're going to do a lot more work when you're up for a payday or a promotion than you are when you got it. That is what it is, I guess. What would you say is your guys' biggest strength on offense? What should the 49ers defense be looking out for? If there is any.
I see that this is why I would start Tyreek Hill because, I mean, Andy Dalton's good, but he doesn't really give you like a dual threat. Tyreek Hill's a dual threat quarterback where he can pull it down, run it, or he can pass it, and it's still going to be successful. I say our biggest threat would be Alvin Kamara. Yeah, if you feed him, give him like 30 touches a game, he's going to get you about 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, something crazy. He wants the ball. He stays healthy. He tries to play. It's funny too because like he was supposed to get suspended. We were scared about that, and it still hasn't happened. So it probably won't happen until after the season. But I mean, if you look at the NFC South right now, it's kind of a mix-up. That's also why I'm not really worried. Tampa Bay has been playing weird football. Carolina's weird. Who else we got in there? What's it called? Falcons. Yeah, those teams are all like a mix-up. Our biggest threat are the Bucs, and they've been injured and they can't get their offense going. So, I mean, if we just stick to it, we can slip into the playoffs as a wild card. We might be able to.
Right now, the Bucs are tied with the Browns 17-17 in OT.
He means Taysom.
Yeah, Tyree. He's saying Tyree. Because I'm on the game with him right now. He's hearing my whole shit. Fuck no.
So looking at the defensive side of the ball, what would you say your guys' biggest strength is? Where do you think you guys can win some battles on the defensive side against this 49ers offense?
Honestly, I'm still sad about that trade. Getting rid of CJ Gardner Johnson.
Yeah.
He's been going off ever since he's been traded. Maybe we just need to put him in a different spot. He would have did the same thing for us. But I mean, I like Cam Jordan. I like Marcus Davenport. They're good rushes. I like Pete Warner. He's underrated. I like Demario Davis. Those four right there are kind of like solidify our defense, along with Paulson Adebo and Marshall Lattimore when he's in there. I think those are our deepest threats with that, and the guys that are game changers. Get in there, intercept something, force a fumble, get a fucking sack on third down. Those are the four guys that are gonna get it done.
Definitely.
For sure.
Definitely.
All right, let's see real fast if we could add them back. See if they. Hello?
Can you hear us?
Can you see us?
Yes.
Look.
So if you could see, they got the
How's
bully
the-
ball flag out there at the stadium.
How's the atmosphere at the stadium right now?
Say what's up to your cousin. What's up?
What up, Marcus?
Go.
All right. Yep. So they're at the game right now, repping the bully ball. Appreciate it. The whole family out there.
Hopefully, it's not a repeat of 2011.
Yeah.
That was a
Or even
heartbreaking game.
2019 too for y'all.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, it
All
should
right,
be a good
Tom.
game. What would be your score prediction for this game?
Score prediction. The Niners have a pretty good defense, but they have a couple of injuries. Eric Armstead's out today, right?
Yeah.
I say 24-17. Niners take it.
Interesting. And
Close
so
game.
we like to do a segment too, bully of the week, somebody who just exemplifies that physical play style. It doesn't have to be the MVP of the game, but just somebody that's really going to turn the game on its head with their physical play style, like how a Debo or a Kittle plays. Who would you say could be a candidate for that from the Saints team on offense or defense?
Because you guys got that good safety now. It's hard to pass on the Niners.
No, you have to pick a safe player. You have to pick a
No, I
safe
know, but
player.
I'm just saying, it's hard to pick a receiver because you guys have a good secondary. Let me see. I say Alvin.
Alvin?
Yeah,
Okay.
he goes off when they feed him. Alvin I don't want to say anybody else, just Alvin.
All right, I'll take Alvin. Hey, I have Alvin on my fantasy bench because he's been sucking lately for me. So, on my fantasy bench. I hope they start feeding him though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll give my score prediction. I'm going to say 31-14 49ers. Our offense has been flowing. I think Saints will come out, score on the first possession just because our defense always starts off super slow. But I think after that, we'll lock it up like we always do, that we've done in the past few games. And then our offense is just going to keep rolling. So I'm going to say 31-14. My bully of the week candidate for the Niners last week's was Trent Williams, who took it. I'm going to say Nick Bosa. He's been getting one sack every so often. I'm going to say this game he's going to get at least 2 sacks. Going to kind of have that defensive player of the year breakout game right here against the Saints.
It. All right, my score prediction, I'm going with 27-17, 49ers winning. Bully of the week, I'm going with the guy. He's been playing his ass off all season. Hasn't really got the recognition this year. Fred Warner. He's been balling. Just hasn't been getting his name thrown around like it has in the past. So I think Fred Warner, bully of the week this week. He's going to shut down Alvin Kamara if the 49ers are going to win.
You better not hope
definitely.
that Christian McCaffrey doesn't get shut down because we're already used to him playing against us.
Yeah, true.
That is
That's
true.
So they might be able to do something with that.
Hey, we saw George Kittle against the Saints last time. We ain't got no troubles.
Oh yeah, they gotta cover that. They gotta cover him. That boy open all day.
Funny.
He's on my fantasy too though, so it's all good. We'll see what happens.
All right, the game is about to start, so we'll hop off. Everyone go watch the game.
Yes,
And
sir.
thanks for hopping on with us, Dom. We appreciate
Yeah,
it.
no problem. And just before I go, let's see the bullies. How do I change the camera around?
Is it on your phone?
Yeah.
You should just flip it like the same way, I think. It should be on the
I don't
screen,
know.
maybe.
I don't usually do it on the phone.
I can't figure it out. But yeah, for bully ball, let's see some bullies.
Yeah, the baby bullies.
Hit up Dom if you guys want some puppies.
Yep. Yes, sir. I'll give you a discount for Black Friday.
You heard it here. All right. Appreciate
Go
you
Saints.
guys.
Yeah.
See you
Later.
Later.